Wow, it's been a couple months. Welcome back to another episode of Evolve Point, your podcast for Shadowverse and Shadowverse Worlds Beyond news. I'm here joined by the moderator of the Reddit, Lord Kalen.
That's me, him.
And SuchPeetanko, also a streamer for Shadowverse.
That's him, me. Hello.
Why did we not record for the past few while? I've been busy. That's true.
I mean,
yeah, you
was gone for the last week. But then, like, before that, there was problems. You know,
there's a lot going on, but there's also, because we've been away, lots of amazing news about Worlds Beyond that's piled up since then. Shall we just jump into it, or do you want to take 10 minutes to talk about Blue Archive like usual, Tongue?
It's been a slow time in Blue Archive, so I have nothing to report right now.
My trip down to Sydney wasn't very eventful. I just bought a bunch of keychains. Nothing to really talk about.
Nice.
Some new anime stores opened up down there, and I spent way too much money.
Is the weebification of Australia happening? Is it time?
Down there, absolutely. Hell yeah, it's great.
Wow.
Down there, down under.
Down under.
Yeah. There's always somewhere further south than I am.
I guess I only have something to talk about in this segment where we just talk about what we've been up to the last week. I went to BCS Worlds and I met a bunch of people who play card games and Shadowverse Evolve and stuff, and that was fun. Shadowverse Evolve, best two decks, Earthright and Bats, and Bats won the finals by just aggroing the opponent, and it ended in 2 minutes, and it was very funny. And that's
so fake.
That's all I have to say about that.
I can mention in reference to Shadowverse Evolve, and it lines up with Peetanko's tweet from the other day. His little tweet about it. The card game shops down in Sydney don't even carry Shadowverse Evolve stock.
Yeah.
They might have 1 or 2 booster boxes, and that's it.
Yeah.
No maps, no sleeves. It was
unfortunately,
pretty depressing.
There is like some vendor distrust of Bushiroad regarding that, unfortunately, especially
I
in
didn't
the West.
see much Vanguard either.
Yeah. It's odd because in Southeast Asia, things are fine, but, you know, the other places have never forgiven Bushiroad for the 2 reboots. So.
Southeast Asia just has, like, more card shops in general, a higher density of card shops and just better distribution, I think.
Yeah.
But like this isn't a Shadowverse Evolve podcast. That's the other one. That's the other one you do with the other guy.
Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about some actual Shadowverse news. Well, I started splitting the doc up into different things, so we're going to do Shadowverse 1 news first, and then Worlds Beyond news, and then the main topic, and then the question of the month, and then the next month's question. So in Shadowverse news, we got, I'll just do the thing that every podcast does nowadays, where they go over the topics real quick to get people interested into listening to the full thing. This is the meta. In Shadowverse news, we got, the Twitter separation, we got the May events, we got a giveaway, and then we'll talk about our experiences with the April and May metas. And then for Worlds Beyond news, lots of news there. We got the pre-registration goal was reached, and then new pre-registration goals added. There was a retweet campaign, and there was giveaway winners for that. Cygames collaborated with the Kentucky Derby, and you could play Shadowverse Worlds Beyond while watching the horses, so that's good. There was the Musashino Art University Cygames background art exhibition, which I went to in person and I can talk about. And then there was also the Worlds Beyond demo at Card Game Fest. It was the same demo as the one from the Shadowverse Festival a few months ago, but let a lot more people try the game because it was a very big event. And I got to do it, and I'll talk about my experience with that. And also IGN from Japan went to play that, and we'll talk about what they thought. And then for the main topic, it'll just be you guys asking me anything about the demo, and I'll answer as best as I can. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Well, let's jump into it. So for Shadowverse news, I'm doing this thing now because somebody got mad that there were no timestamps. I'm actively putting in the timestamps as we record, so I don't have to think about it afterwards.
Nice.
Let's go. For Shadowverse news, Shadowverse Classic and Worlds Beyond Twitter separated, so the existing Shadowverse Twitter became the Worlds Beyond Twitter, and they made a new Twitter for Shadowverse Classic called Shadowverse Classic, so I guess that's the nomenclature that they're going with instead of Shadowverse 1. How do we feel about this? I mean, I think it's we kind of saw this coming. Like it was.
Yeah, I think it checks out. The Shadowverse main account just being the hub for Shadowverse and spinning off the other games.
The Shadowverse Classic page is pretty much just gonna be throwback news. I don't think there's ever gonna be much else for them to tweet.
Yeah.
Maybe they might like post a nice artwork for anniversary or something, and that's about it. That's all I expect.
I mean, the thing is, like with Worlds Beyond, 70 4,200 followers on the main account. So like obviously they want to keep that following and not make a new account. And then the classic account has 800 followers. So,
816.
Yeah.
I was the, I want to say, second follower of the Shadowverse Classic account.
So
I was
funny.
the first. No, I'm kidding. I don't remember.
No, that's yeah. It's pretty much dead. I think nobody cares. And they're all just waiting for the new game, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
But it's also like you have to go out of your way to even know that there even is a classic account.
Yeah.
And you have to actually care about throwback rotation. So it's not. Nobody's expecting them to reach a large crowd anyway.
Exactly. I think
Twitter X does a really poor job of being able to organize communities. They have the communities tab, and that is definitely nowhere you want to be. They don't work.
Yeah. I think with the May events, though, we just transition into that. There are some exciting things here that do make people, like, give people a reason to care about regular Shadowverse, but also I think it's clear that with like the big giveaways and stuff, they're just like trying to drum up hype for the IP as in general for any existing player to like remind them, hey, Shadowverse exists and we're making the new game soon. So yeah, we can just talk about that. The free card pack giveaway, there's a free pack every day from April 30th to May 7th. So that was the thing. You only got like what, 5 packs?
5 rotation. Yeah, 5 rotation packs, and I think I'm yet to get a leader from a rotation pack.
Yeah, so who cares?
Throwback. Yeah.
There was a victory reward thing for April 30th to May 10th where you could get chests. And it was, Cutthroat, Discord, Convict, Evolved, Emblem, and Sleeves as the cosmetic rewards. Tanko, did you finish your chest rewards for that?
I have, because I actually like this format. I actually played a lot. I'm already Grandmaster.
Yeah.
I actually reached
6,400 points.
Yeah, I kept going too for some reason. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I have no idea if I got the Cuddy sleeves or not. I was kind of in another state and didn't play a lot of Shadowverse this month.
Yeah, that's fair. I also have not reached GM this month. We'll talk about that later when we talk about our experience with the metas, I guess. And then there's the Throwback Rotation Cup, which is happening right now from May 10th onward till, I guess the 20th. And the cosmetic reward for that is Hozumi Evolved Emblems and Sleeves. Do any of us care?
I already have Hozumi sleeves, and I already got my 750 Hozumi.
What the hell just happened? You two just started talking at the same time, and I couldn't understand anything that you were saying.
That's a good thing. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I already missed stage 1. I don't know if I'm even in Group B. Like, I got 2 wins. Yeah, I guess I'm in Group B.
Yeah.
But not even gonna play, to be honest. I can't get any more leaders from this throwback rotation, and the other 10 leaders I need are the only cards, like they are the only unicorns left to catch in Shadowverse, and I actually don't care about any of them.
What the hell? Well, obviously, like, reasonable minds may differ, but you don't like the raccoon girl, the frick?
I like Hozumi, but I've got Hozumi sleeves already.
What about you,
got
Tanko?
the good sleeves already.
Yeah.
I already have all the leaders in this throwback rotation already, but I've just been casually trying to pull on Verdant, because I got a second mono leader in the free pack, so I was like, I might as well try to complete the set since she's actually good in this format too. I got a 5th Lisa.
Well,
nice.
A 5th copy of Lisa for some reason.
I was able to get into Group A just by playing Natural Dragon, but it's starting to fall off because you just die to Aggro Sword if they just pop off, or you die to Artifact because it's the best deck in the format. So
That's me.
I should probably switch to one of those other two. And then finally, we got the Grand Prix Glory Take-Two Cup, which I think is also a Portal format Take-Two, with the reward being Evolved Amelia sleeves and emblems. So do any of us care about that? In the Evolved emblem, she is straight up showing off her pits, though. Like, in the emblem. So, like, that's pretty cool. How do you feel about that?
That's important.
Do you care about this Take-Two format, though? It's such a low-power Take-Two. It feels like a lot of the Take-Two in this Glory format is, like, very archetypal-based. And the only thing that's good is Portal, because you just have, like, generically good free evolves and stuff, so...
Yeah, it's just, like, It's one of those like regular take twos, and the regular
Yeah.
standard take twos are just so plain, you know?
Yeah,
They're not too
I don't-
exciting.
I don't
I
disagree.
guess that is the other 2 unicorns left in Shadowverse 1. I need Taker of 2 and Selector Supreme. I'm
good
obviously
luck with that.
never getting. Yeah, I'm obviously never getting a challenge master, but I'm only 5-0s away from Taker of 2 and Selector Supreme. I've only got to get 43 wins in Take 2. I just don't feel like playing Take 2.
I actually just casually got Taker of 2 just a couple of weeks ago. I kind of forgot. Like, I didn't even know I was that close to getting it.
What
just
the hell?
happened.
You have Taker of 2?
Yeah, I
should,
have it. How?
You should equip that and scare people on ladder. That's
Yeah,
the only
exactly.
thing that does to me.
It's one of
and
the
it-
scariest. It's one of the scariest flares you can have.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's like somebody having select challenge master flare in Take 2, but they're B rank.
And then finally, we have a 150 card pack giveaway that happened is happening between April 30th and May 31st. You can get 30 packs for each of the throwback expansions, which is Steel Rebellion, Rebirth of Glory, Verdant Conflict, Ultimate Coliseum, and World Uprooted. So 150 packs, they're just giving shit away. I guess it's fine because the game is about to die. So it's literally, you're not losing any money by giving free cards away. So whatever.
So they've been like advertising it as like a quote unquote Worlds Beyond celebration. That's what all the packs for. But honestly, they really should just keep doing this every month. Not just because free stuff good, but also you kind of have to give 1 billion packs every month for people to be able to build new decks every season.
Or for even
that's
people
been
to care, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, because that's been the biggest drawback of Throwback is that, yeah, sure, boomer players can go back and play these old formats. They might still have the old cards or enough files, but...
So you're a brand new player.
Anybody-
You started playing Shadowverse because you heard Worlds Beyond is coming out,
Uh-huh.
and you get 150 packs. You open 30 from each of these throwback rotations, and that probably lets you build a couple of the decks. But does a skill you build in Shadowverse 1 now this close to Worlds Beyond coming out really transfer into Worlds Beyond and put you in a better position for that game? Or should you just not bother with Shadowverse Classic and just wait for Worlds Beyond to come out?
Do not bother with Shadowverse Classic. Just wait for Worlds Beyond. Like a lot of the game is the same, but like at the same time, all the cards are gonna be different. And then if you like build an attachment to the packs that you're opening here, and then you're like not like you're like, oh, the game plays differently. It might give you false expectations of like I would just say like jump into it basically blind.
My
if you're
take
not
has
playing it
been
yet.
the advice I've been giving people is make a Shadowverse Classic account, open some packs, maybe play the story, just so you can link that account to Worlds Beyond, and then play Worlds Beyond properly with a linked account.
Yeah,
Just
probably
for
correct.
whatever benefits that may have.
Yeah, I would say that's correct as well.
If you got literally nothing else to do, then yeah, Classic is okay, I guess. But like, if you want to play old Shadowverse in some way, you really should just play the Switch game, the anime game.
Yeah, the Switch game is
Hammond's
pretty
Battle
good.
is like an actual banger. And it's super duper boomer Shadowverse. The first
What is it,
couple
like
expansions.
$30 on the Nintendo eShop right now too? So it's like
Yeah, I'm pretty
cheap,
sure it
so.
goes on sale often, I think. So
Yeah. All right, well that's it for the Shadowverse 1 news. Out with the old, dude. Who gives a crap? Time to move on to Worlds Beyond news.
But we were gonna talk about our experience in these metas.
Okay,
And by that, I
we'll
mean,
rapid fire that real quick. Do you have
by that,
any
I mean-
experience to talk about?
my experience. I just want to brag because these past couple expansions have been like both of these throwbacks have been artifact metas, and I've been thriving, dude. Like overall, these metas are kind of dog water. Both World Uprooted and Velisar post mini are awful formats, but it's okay because my deck is the best deck in format. Therefore, it's fine, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't
like
play the
artifacts.
game.
that's fair. For me, I kind of agree with Tanko. The formats aren't great, but I did just play Face Dragon in April, and I did just play Natural Dragon in May, and I'm like, this is fine.
It is a good format for Dragon, like both of these throwbacks.
Oh,
and, like,
also, in this May one, you don't even have to play Natural. You can also just do a ramp into Goblin Warpack into Zeus, which is also kind of fun. So that's also an option.
That's what
I kind of forgot about Evo.
Yeah, but
and then
Zeus keeps betraying me. Even with 9 evolves, he's just never gonna get Storm.
Many such cases.
Next month is going to be another Portalcraft format.
Yeah, what is
Chasm,
next month's format?
Godworm. It's going to be a Chasm format.
Well, which is funny because that's also another Dragon format with Ultimate Bomb.
That's true.
These 3 months were for me and Tonko. All right. Now can we go to the Worlds Beyond news? Did we eat our veggies? Can we go eat the desserts now, please?
Well.
All right. Shadowverse Worlds Beyond news. First up. There's a current pre-registration campaign for Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, where if you wishlist the game on Steam, wishlist it on Epic, or pre-register it on your Android or your iOS device, every player gets benefits depending on how many total. Did my voice just go weird, by the way? Are we good?
No, you're fine.
Sounds fine.
Because I heard Windows did a beep boop disconnection sound. I'm like, I don't know what disconnected. All right. So at 50k pre-regs, every player gets 2 packs. At 100k, every player gets 3 packs worth of rupees. And then at 150, you get Drazen Feast of Wolves emblem. At 200, you get 5 packs. And at 250, you get Drazen Feast of Wolves card sleeves. And at 300, you get 10 packs. So we got all of those. But they added 2 more stretch goals. At 400k, we each get a legendary pack. And at 500k, we get the Rupees Galore event, where you get to potentially win 2.5 million rupees in some sort of like lucky draw thing.
Oh man!
So
if I won that, I just wouldn't play Worlds Beyond, because what would be the point? I've already got enough rupees to buy packs forever. So why would I? I don't want to win that.
Play the game to open packs. You don't even like the game.
I play the game so I can earn rupees and open packs. That's the dopamine loop.
Damn. Well,
I can't imagine what it's like being one of those winners, because like we've had rupee shows before, and I've seen screen caps of people getting the like 500,000 rupees, but like, are those real?
It's real. It's real. I know
really
somebody in my chat got it once, and they were just able to play.
Throwing back to the sleeves, Drazen Feast for Wolves. Call me a wolf because she's a feast.
Calm the frick down, dude. Although I will say, I have I did the overlay graphic for this episode already, and the Drazen photo is up there, and she has really shiny thighs, and I'm like, it's kind of distracting.
Yes.
Hayden, I had the same joke, but I made a conscious choice not to say it.
Also, at this point, I've in person seen a Drazen life-size cutout multiple times, and she's like 4 feet tall.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Anyway, there was some discourse regarding the pre-registration numbers. Some people said, what the hell? We only reached 300k, not 500k or even 1 million. Is this a dead game? How do we feel about this discourse?
That's just silly. A hell of a lot less people are going to wishlist the game than actually play it.
Yeah.
It's not like a horror game. It's not going to get a whole lot of attention, and it's not going to drag people out to go out of their way to pre-register. I know a lot of people that like are interested in Worlds Beyond, but just kind of forget that pre-registration is even a thing. So it is what it is.
I think a major, massive issue as well is there was a lot of hype around Worlds Beyond right when it got revealed initially, and they didn't put the Steam page up then. So we've had 2 years to not wishlist the game, and a lot of people that might be excited to play Worlds Beyond when it comes out don't even know the Steam page is up right now because they checked out until the game is actually out.
Oh yeah. That's one thing I want to do more as a creator, is because I feel like I focus a lot on like content for the core audience, but I should do more stuff that like has wider appeal, like sort of like here are all the differences between the two, or like things you need to know before Worlds Beyond comes out and stuff like that. I feel like that's something I should do.
Normies.
Yeah, because YouTube is like a balance of having like these 3 buckets of content. You have like the hub content, which is for all your hardcores, and then you have the tutorial content. and then you do the viral content. I feel like I've been doing a lot of the first one and not enough of the other two. So that's something I could work on.
Your most viewed video is definitely something that aimed at the normies just for the wrong game.
My most video is a Pokemon video.
Yeah.
All right.
But, I think when we get closer to Worlds Beyond actually being out, we're easily going to break this 500,000 mark.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They actually just need to start advertising the game.
I think we're gonna break 500,000 from like Japan alone, so like it's fun.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got there was a retweet campaign where you like and retweet a post on the frickin' Twitter, and you get a chance to 10 winners get a chance to win 10,000 yen in App Store credit. Once again, this is one of those things where if I win, people will get mad because they'll think it's rigged. Same with the 2.5 million rupees thing. So
only like 30 winners total across the 3 languages. That's surprising.
Yeah. Was it like Chinese, Japanese, and English? I believe are the 3 giveaways.
That's the accounts they ran. I don't think they have any Twitter accounts for other languages, but also at this point, they aren't really supporting European languages anymore, are they? So,
well, it's weird because Cygames recently opened Twitter accounts for like the Cygames like company brand for European languages, but they don't have it for Shadowverse specifically. So who knows? Maybe like just this month they opened for Italy, Germany, and Spanish, I believe, for Cygames. So who knows? Maybe it's just Shadowverse itself has limited amounts of social media localization, but Cygames itself doesn't, and maybe it'll be added in the future. I don't know, but that's just something that's curious, I guess.
Apparently, you could just. I didn't even think about this before Kaden did this, but you could just enter all 3 different languages. I didn't even consider that as an option. I just did English and that's it.
Yeah, me too. I should have entered all 3.
I couldn't see any kind of disclaimers about you can only win in certain regions, so I just entered them all. Also, as an Australian, a hell of a lot of the time, giveaways only apply to America and Japan in this case. So I would just enter them anyway, and then if I won, give it to a friend or something like that.
Yeah,
But I've never won any giveaway in anything ever, so.
All right, the next news is a little bit odd. Uma Musume English is coming out very soon. In fact, it's only coming out 1 week after Worlds Beyond, which is very funny. So we're gonna have these 2 Cygames games basically back to back. But in collaboration with, or like to promote Uma Musume English, Cygames announced a collaboration with the 151st Kentucky Derby to present the unbridled Sydney Stakes on Kentucky Oaks Day, where it's a big horse race. And at the horse race, they had playable demos for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which is a game that's already out. Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, also a game that's already out. But also, Uma Musume Pretty Derby Global was a demo available at the horses. And Shadowverse Worlds Beyond was also available at the horses. What? What is happening?
Horse racing
you could possibly ask for.
Yeah, horse racing's absolutely huge in Australia, so I know what kind of people go to see horse races.
Yeah, but you're
they
like
don't
a bunch
play
of degenerate gamblers,
of
dude. You got the horses, you got the doggos, you guys are a bunch of low dogs yourself. You're just like always gambling all the time.
Australia might be the most degenerate country in the world when it comes to gambling. It's just a cultural thing.
But one thing I did want to mention, you're not going to be able to see it here on the, YouTube or the audio of this, obviously, because this is an audio only show. But at the horses, they did debut a kind of mural that sort of promoted all of their properties, and front and center was Dryzen from Worlds Beyond. Let me just go ahead and find that photo so you guys can react to it. Looking at the Discord now.
They have Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. There's like 2 Worlds Beyond characters.
There's 3. There's Love Sign in the back as well.
Oh yeah, he's all the way back there. There's like 4 or 5 Uma Musumes, 2 Grand Blues, and like 1 Just one Princess Connect. They just have Pecorine and that's it.
Yeah, they just have Pecorine, yeah. But
Princess
it's
Connect.
I'll describe it for people who can't see the image, but you can just check my Twitter. I on my media tab, I retweeted it. So at the very front and center is a Drygen pointing a gun to off screen, and they're all sort of facing one direction. And then behind her is Tokai Teo from Uma Musume, and then behind her is Malise from Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, again another Shadowverse character. Then it's Gran and Oguri Cap, Lyria, Vern, some Uma character I don't. No, that's the little shorty from Relink. Then Love Sign from Worlds Beyond. Then Pecorine. Then Silent Suzuka. Gold. What's her name? Something Special Week. And Bahamut in the back, of course, the mascot.
Bahamut the boy.
But yeah, so this art of Dryten is amazing. Look at it. Yeah. Like, it's incredible.
But like they hit a banging design on her.
I hope they upload the actual art itself sometime and you could use it as a wallpaper at some point. Speaking
of her banger design, somebody in my chat told me that her boobs look like the Among Us eyes, and I hate that guy. I hate that. Whoever said that, I hate him. All right, next up we have Cygames presenting background art in an exhibition solely. Actually, not solely. They had sort of a tour around Japan, but the one I went to, because I was in Japan at the time, was at Musashino Art University, and they showcased a couple of backgrounds from Worlds Beyond, and it gives us a bit of a glimpse into the setting and the story.
No, is that the Eiffel Tower? What the heck?
You just check out the Twitter thread. I also made a video about it, in case you guys were wondering, if you just want my concise thoughts, but I'll just read it out to you. Continuing from Shadowverse Worlds Beyond will feature many worlds with different cultures while inheriting the deep worldview that was also important. In Shadowverse, we've clarified the impression we want for each world and set an image color to differentiate them so that it's clear what glance what world it is. For example, in a glamorous world, we increase the number of colors in shadows and increase the number of colors across the screen to create a lively and glamorous impression. Conversely, in dark and lonely places, we reduce the colors in the shadows and a number of colors across the screen to create a lonely impression. We hope you will enjoy the differences between each world. Then the first thing they showed is a sort of blue sky, blue sky mentioned, and a bunch of like random like chunks of different worlds scattered throughout the skyline. And there's like also like a railroad crossing on top of a medieval bridge. So it's kind of
tower, the Leaning Tower of Pisa looking ass building.
Yeah, exactly. So they had a little blurb for this one. This one says, this place expresses a different dimension where various eras and space-times overlap. Because only a limited number of people can enter, I was conscious of the lonely, deserted feeling and emphasized the blue color of the sky and shadows to create a tranquil impression. I would be happy if you could feel the sadness as if only the sound of railroad crossings was ringing out. So this might be the setting of the Feast of Wolves, or like the interdimensional tournament, because it's like only a few people can enter. It's a crossing between worlds. That's sort of my speculation. What do you guys think of this one specifically?
Definitely get that vibe, especially with the Colosseum-looking building up in the back with a cathedral spiking out of it.
Yeah, for sure. I think also this palette of like green and blue is very like Cygames. Like you see this all the time in Grand Blue and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at your Twitter thread and I'm distracted by how short the Dryzen cutout.
Yeah, she is really short, so dude. I'm like a full 3 heads taller than her.
But the background art is so good. Like background art in general is super underrated because it's like, it's like it's like it's like really easy to miss because it's like, oh, it's just kind of there. But when you stop and actually look at it, Shadowverse has always had crazy background art.
And they put a lot of thought into it too. At the exhibition, they had like little touch screens that you could interact with, and you could like undo layers. So there would be like a UI layer, a character layer, and a background layer, and you see how thoughtfully they made the backgrounds so that it wouldn't be too much visual noise once all the layers were layered on top of each other, while still being really visually interesting. I thought it was such a cool like look into the design process. Like it was such a cool exhibition. I'm glad I could go.
I've always wanted to play some kind of RPG, especially in first person, where I'd actually get to walk around the worlds of Shadowverse, especially in a game that would interconnect them and allow you to actually transfer between other worlds. Because Eilon is beautiful IMO, and I'd love to just walk around that city.
I don't disagree, and I think also like
this gives that same vibe.
Yeah, man. I think like also. My hope is like Uma Musume Global makes $1 bajillion and they reinvest some of that to the Shadowverse IP, and we can maybe get projects like that. But yeah, that's a big pipe dream, but it would be nice. The next one is like a super highly advanced Chinese city giving Lie from Genshin, but more polluted vibes. And we hear here, they have a little blurb. It is depicted as a huge, highly civilized city, giving the impression of a bustling, lively town at first glance. On the other hand, by not showing the blue sky, the image expresses the uneasy atmosphere that comes with prosperity, such as the smog that comes with development. So because it's Chinese-based, I'm assuming this is like Galen's homeworld?
Yeah.
So, yeah, makes sense.
Especially with the dragon literally wrapping itself around a spire there.
Yeah, and there's another little dragon in the middle of the lake there.
I
you see that too, yeah.
The lanterns have dragons. There seems to be a dragon in a doorway or gateway down in the bottom right.
Yeah. The very dragon themed, obviously. Galen really like leveraging the Chinese dragon aesthetic, which is super sick. Well, yeah, what do we think of this one? I think it's pretty cool. Like it's a big contrast from the first one, where this one's like really dark and dreary. Yeah.
I kind of expected like the IL on Cyberpunk one to be like the main like sketchy looking shithole one, but it's interesting that the dragon one is so like gloomy as well too.
Dude, a lot of them are really gloomy. If I was me and I got transported to the Feast of Wolves, I'd be like, this is nice. This is better than where I come from.
Yeah, like Shadowverse environments have always been kind of gloomy to some extent, but like this is like Inazuma, but without any of the glitz and gold of Inazuma, just all the garbage in the river.
Yeah, this is more like Lia to me, but I understand where you're coming from. And then the next one, this one had no blurb on it, so we can only guess. My theory was that it was either Melissa's homeworld or Esperanza's homeworld. In Melissa's bio, it says that she comes from a world with a bunch of blossoming flowers, and this one doesn't have any flowers in it, so I'm leaning towards Esperanza. But it's like a generic, fantasy, like
Irithyll.
Yeah, it's literally Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. So, yeah. And then the next one is probably Love Sign's homeworld here with the sort of like Arabian Nights aesthetic and the bazaar. Yeah, it looks so good. This one also didn't really have a blurb, but then the next one does have a blurb. It's a cyberpunk like machine world. Could also potentially be like Neo Tokyo, where Kaori, the rune leader, is from, but I think this is probably Dreizen's homeworld, and we can read the blurb here. The city is based on a dystopian near future where humans are controlled by machines. I tried to convey the unique and eerie atmosphere of the city with inorganic cables strung throughout, as if the entire city has merged with machines and mysterious, dimly flickering neon lights. So yeah, it's probably the Dreizen's world.
Yeah,
right?
that sounds like a very similar description.
It's like Ion if the robot uprising succeeded. Like,
well,
if
there's some speculation. There's some speculation that it is Iolon, right? Because Mono is 1, and then Ania is 9, Tetra is 4, and then Dreizen is 13. So it matches the naming convention. Maybe it's the return of Iolon, like legitimately.
I mean,
so. It's robot-y, it's blue. I personally feel like Iolon would be a bit too obvious. I feel like it'd be a bit too much for it to be literally directly Iolon again. Especially since all the robots like abandoned Iolon already. But
they did abandon Iolon, and I think it could be entirely possible that maybe after they abandoned Iolon, a new civilization built up on the ruins of the city.
The humans there, right? Like,
man, spoilers, Igni, you haven't gone that far into the story yet.
I know that they abandoned Iolon. I seen the card art, dude.
He played World Uprooted, the expansion. He had to have read some of the descriptions on the cards.
You've played Tetra. Goodbye, Iolon. Where?
Yeah. And then next up, we have another gloomy atmosphere.
Oh my god, Bloodborne!
It's literally Bloodborne. It's like Jack the Ripper, Victorian London, foggy, cloudy streets.
Yeah.
And then we have a blurb here. When painting a background, it is important to consider the environment, such as city or countryside, civilization, climate. But I also think it's important to consider what impression you want to give the viewer. In this painting, I used cool colors to create a cold impression. I aim to make the viewer feel as if they were peering into the depths of a dark fog. And regarding the homeworld of whoever is this character, Dial's bio says that he's a monster of legend in a city with a dark fog. So maybe Dial is like a sort of mythologized version of Jack the Ripper or something like that.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
One night in London energy.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
He was a monster stalking the streets, kind of Mr. Hyde energy, and that could be how they... Well, that actually just could be how they expand his character later on.
Yeah, legit. Maybe he does have a human form. Yeah. There was also a bunch of course, they showcased all the backgrounds from original Shadowverse 2. It's beautiful, and they had an art book on sale there. Usual price 3,500 yen, but they were selling it for 2,500 for the university students. And I'm not a student, but I just bought it anyway. YOLO. I literally have no credentials for this university. I just walked in and they would just let me do it. So all
Hell
good.
yeah.
All right.
I am going to check if I can buy one of these books because I'm kind of a sucker for these backgrounds.
Oh, it's a beautiful art book, and it has literally every Cygames game in it. So it had Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. It didn't have verses, I don't think. It didn't have verses, but it did have Princess Connect, and it did have Uma Musume, and it had Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, and it did not have Dragalia Lost or World Flipper. I'm sorry.
No. I always liked Dragalia Lost art style. That was a definite loss to lose that.
Was it dependent? Yeah. Yeah, okay. We get it.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Worlds Beyond demo at Card Game Fest, which is also the main topic of today, because I want you guys to ask me anything you have regarding it. But yeah, there was a limited time trial. You would queue in a line, and they would give you 20 minutes to play the game, and you would have access to the private match mode as well as the practice mode, but not the AI in the practice mode. And then you would play against the person across from you, and then they had a QR code that led to a survey with feedback and stuff. If you finish the demo, they give you a cosmetic card pack, like the promo packs they had from the previous sets, like, you know, the ones that are based off of the digital game cards, but they're not playable, they're just collectibles. I got Pascal out of mine. And then if you show the attendant at the booth that you pre-registered the game, you got an Ace, which is the name in Japanese, or a Yudi, the name in English, the AI companion. You got her as a sticker for pre-registering. There was also the Ask Ace / Ask Yudi, like big touchscreen display where you could ask her questions about like how each of the classes operate and stuff like that. So yeah. Pretty cool demo. It was the same demo as the one from the Shadowverse Festival a few months ago, though, which is available to a wider audience now, I guess. Yeah.
So you have gotten your hands on the game.
Yes, that's true. Before I jump into that, I want to just also quickly cover that Japan IGN also played the game, and they covered the basics of like how the game works and their thoughts. There's some things I disagree with them in that article, but generally a good article, so I'm glad it's getting some coverage on the more mainstream media sites. But yes, let's move on to the main topic now. I've played the demo. Ask me anything. This is just a free flow segment. You guys just ask me any questions that come to your mind, and I'll do my best to answer.
Yeah, but I forgot to write down any questions.
Just ask me literally anything. Just go.
I wasn't prepared for a prompt either.
Were you able to interact with any kind of monetization system?
No.
Were you able to see any like rupees or anything like that?
No, most of the buttons were grayed out. So I tried clicking around, which was funny because there was... So when I went in, I didn't have to wait in line. Cygames saw me and they were like, "Oh my god, it's Igni. Do you want to try our demo?"
Hey, it's that really tall guy over there.
And they let me in and let me try the demo without waiting in line. Much to the chagrin of the people who were waiting in line, I guess. So there was a Cygames employee literally watching over my shoulder as I tried to click every button that was grayed out. But yeah, every button was grayed out. Even the settings menu in-game was grayed out. So there were only practice mode and private matches available. You could do some private match settings, like who goes first and stuff like that, but yeah, it's mostly just those two, and you could only play the pre-builds. The deck builder was also grayed out, and the park was also grayed out. So you literally couldn't do anything other than practice mode or pre-builds. The one thing that was interesting was that after playing the practice mode game, at the end screen, you could actually see what the opponent's deck was. Which I don't know if that's going to transfer over to ranked and tournament mode either, but it was interesting that in practice mode, they let you see what your opponent's deck list was. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that honestly sounds like
that's one of my
stay in practice.
That's one of my favorite things about playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is that when you get to, after you finish the game, you get to look at the opponent's deck and see just what kind of dog water that they were on. Like, what were they trying to do?
Yeah, I do that in Duel Links all the time and just figure out why they lost.
What did they mean by this?
How did they lose that? What were they missing? Oh, that was also something I'd do in Duel Links. I'd fill my extra deck with just the flashiest cards I had just to flex on people because I didn't need my extra
use
deck.
Them.
Yeah.
Speaking of flexing, Igni, were you able to emote BM?
Yes, you could emote BM, and the game is fully voice acted in English, and the music was great too. Yeah, so all good news on that front.
Hopefully, I mean, we can definitely hope that maybe if Shadowverse Worlds Beyond gets a lot of traction in those previously supported regions that had languages, maybe in the future support will return to those regions.
Yeah, I think all that kind of stuff really depends on just like how much money the game earns. We'll just have to find out.
Yeah, and as for Vietnam, that's a matter of government problems, right? Not
local laws. It's also with some European countries don't have it listed on their app stores either because of the anti-gacha laws. So
yeah, probably Belgium in that case.
Yeah. Any other questions regarding the gameplay or mechanics wise?
I'm assuming that you played Dragoncraft, the demo deck. Obviously, how did it feel? How did it feel playing 3-drop Oracle?
The Dragon deck is by far the best out of the three because, you know, with pre-built decks, they don't really build around like full combos, so it ends up being mostly a value game, and Dragon just has the most value.
That makes sense.
Did the game feel 60 FPS?
Yes.
And do you think there was an option for 30? Because I know some people would play at 30 just to keep the frame rate, the battery.
The settings were disabled, but I'll tell you right now, most of the UI is exactly the same as Shadowverse Classic. It's just that it's been prettied up and like more presentable and like stuff like that. So I would assume a lot of the same settings would carry over. So you probably could play it at 30.
How does the log look?
Looks exactly the same, except it's kind of like separated better where the menus are a little clearer. So you can go to like opponent played cards, or you go to played cards and there's tabs for like opponent and yours. It's pretty much the same as it is now, but like it just looks cleaner. Like all the UI looks cleaner and less like slapdash, I guess.
Yeah, right now the Shadowverse Classic log is kind of clunky. Like you get the information that you need, but it can be like inconvenient trying to find certain things. Or
it's
whatever.
mostly the same though. There's no big changes regarding like how the log is structured. So,
I mean, you could definitely make the argument that we're just too used to the UI in Shadowverse, and maybe it's not actually that bad. But it does sometimes feel like every single UI element in Shadowverse 1 could use with upgrading.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's bad news. The UI is basically the same. It's just been prettied up. What else did I want to mention? Oh yeah, the extra play point mechanic is pretty interesting. So it's not like the coin where you can like misclick it, like the coin from Hearthstone, where like you can like drag it out and you're like, oh wait, I shouldn't have played it that turn. Well, it's like a toggle. So when you click the toggle, it goes PP +1, and then you have an extra available one. But then you can always unclick it if you decide not to. Like
really?
it's part of the thinking process. So
that's
like you.
Wild, actually.
Yeah, it's like a toggle rather than a consumable. So like if you decide to use it, you can go toggle. Let me think. So now I have 6 play points on this turn. Do I want to do this or do I want to stick to my 5 play point play? Actually, I want to stick to my 5 play point play. Then you untoggle it and then you play the 5 play point thing. So it's something like that. Yeah.
And you can go from 10 and hit 11 if you wanted to as well.
Yeah, because it's a toggle. So you'd be at 10 orbs and then you just hit the toggle and it would be like now you're at play point +1. But there's no cards in the game that cost 11 so far, so but we'll see.
It actually would be really interesting if they ever did print. I don't think they would actually, but like an 11 cost that's only good going second on turn 10 would be really funny.
Yeah, I think you just literally can't play it if you're going first.
That sounds to me like a horrible idea.
Yeah, Tonko.
Well, if it's like broken though, then
you should think about what you've done. I'm just kidding.
There's a dragon card.
Don't give them ideas.
Oh, well, obviously Zoe is an 11 cost that you'd probably want to play.
So you also asked me how Dragon Sign felt as a 3 play point oracle.
Yeah.
It was fine, because you also get Liu Feng, which is like the best ramp card ever printed, where it's just 4 play point evolve ramp. If you're in overflow, evolve for free, and it's like okay. So
I do think they'll need to be a bit more careful with how many ramps they print in this upcoming game, because last season we were playing a format where Dragon was able to run 15 ramp cards, and it was absolutely insane.
Liu Feng is really good, but the thing is, like, it's very clear to me that they printed Dragon Sign and Liu Feng to make going second feel better, because with Dragon Sign you can use the extra play point to play it on 2. With Liu Feng you can play it on 4 on your first evolve turn, whereas with going first you would get access to your Evo first going 5th. on turn 5 rather. But the problem is that they changed it so that the amount of evolve points and super evolve points are the same going first or second. And that's a big issue because, at least in the demo deck, so this might be a function of the pre-built thing and like not actually an issue, but when you go first as Dragon in the demo, you literally can't lose because you just slam down a gigantic body and that clears their whole board. The enemy is forced to evolve most times to deal with it. Like with Failed Out Lionheart Ward with the Destruction Evolve on the Evolve effect. And after that exchange, because you have the same amount of Evolve points, the player going first actually ends up with more EP after that exchange, which is a huge, huge advantage. So not giving second that extra EP, I'm a little doubtful about that. It seems a little scary. It might make going first still too good, even with the like extra catch-up mechanics they introduced for going second.
It's going to be a little bit more manageable once you can actually construct decks, because like say they just revealed that Zeus Gold spell, which is a tall removal.
Yeah. There are options for like non-evolve removal, but I feel like the sort of idea also just carries on in general between going first and second. Like for example, you play and Gardew is like the best card in the whole demo. You play Gardew, you super evolve him, you get an entire board, trade 2 and go fizz. And then like what are they gonna do? They have to like evolve Kerberos just to deal with your board. It feels really bad. Or they have to evolve Orcus just to deal with your gigantic board. Like I feel like the fact that they both get the same amount of points, like evolve points and super evolve points going first and second, might be a balancing problem. But again, that might just be because the pre-builds were so restrictive. We'll have to see, but it's just a concern that I have, I guess.
What did you play against exactly?
I played against Portal in the practice game, and then I played against Abyss, against Red Zone Rogue Kel, who was there with me trying the demo out.
I heard puppets suck.
Oh, it's really bad. It's a very bad pre-built deck. Well, that's because the Portal pre-build is full of like generic cards that don't synergize with it. Like you got 3 of Divine Thunder, 1 of Seraphic Tidings. It's like this doesn't really feel like a deck that has any like actual game plan. Abyss, at least you can like work towards like like spamming Ghost with Mukon and then using Kerberos to like deal a bunch of burn damage. Portal is like literally you just play Orcus, evolve, deal 6 damage face, and then you deal 8 damage face with the 2 enhanced puppets and the Lloyd, and then you're just done. And then you're like, okay. Nice. And then Liam at 10 play points is so heavy. And by the time you're at 10, and it requires you to use the evolve to give the puppets on your field that last words effect, like it's so late in the game and you have no ramp to get into it. I feel like Dragon's just gonna kill you with Genesis Dragon or Gardew before that even happens. So, you know. It is what it is.
That's exciting. Artifact will be good. Surely Artifact will be good.
Surely. The Abyss deck was the second best. I think the Portal one is by far the worst. The Abyss deck has some pretty good removal options. Like you could enhance for your Mino to give it Rush and Bane, kill my Genesis Dragon or my Twilight Dragon. They also had Series, which is a really good card, obviously. You do feel kind of bad using a Super Evolve on a 4 cost, but you know, it's worth it because you heal a bunch, as well as the fact that you don't take damage on your turn, so the Series will always survive the hit. Not that it really needed it, I guess, because it'll always survive the hit on Super Evolve, and then it gains Barrier at the end of turn, so like it's pretty good just as an annoying threat. There's some shitty cards in there too, though, like Ghost Juggler and whatever, but it's generally the second best one. But the Portal one was like by far the worst. It was like really bad. But hopefully they'll fix that later. It'll be nice. All right.
How are the animations?
I can't wait to get in-game in Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, walk into the park and just sit down in a chair and watch people walk around and play the game. And
yeah, there's like they showed like a big screen as well. Like
pass away happy on the bench.
Are you okay?
with your Worlds Beyond GF by your side.
Hell yeah!
Dude, I'm searching for a Worlds Beyond GF, dude. I'm brushing up on my Japanese, Mina no Nihongo, and I'm just gonna go in and start, hey, wanna play Shadowverse? Let's see how it goes from there. What else? Oh yeah, animations. The animations were fantastic. When you evolve, It's the same as the first game, but it looks a little cleaner. Where like a little wisp comes out like of the evolve orb and then goes into the follower, right? There's also a new feature where when you hit for lethal damage, there'll be like an action camera zoom in of the enemy leader as they die. It's very cool. Yeah.
Hype moment.
Explode. Blast.
Like for example, when I swing Genesis Dragon, like the game would like hold for a moment and then like zoom into the enemy leader, and then the Genesis Dragon would swing in. I'm like, that's so cool.
On the topic of the rope, is that always burning down? Do you always know how much time you have left?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. When you are trying to queue up a lot of actions, which, I mean, maybe in this demo you can't, like the decks just might not allow it, but does it feel like you're going to be able to get a lot done during a turn when you're rushing? Because there's a lot of times in Shadowverse 1 where I'm trying to do something and there's just not enough time in the turn because evolving takes 20 seconds.
I don't that's what I do.
I don't fully recall because I was sort of, I wasn't focused on every little aspect of it, but if I remember correctly, the timer pauses during animations, but don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely certain. But yeah.
Oh man, saying the timer pauses during animations just gave me flashbacks to the Hearthstone decks that would be able to play out your entire opponent's turn.
Yeah, but I believe it pauses during animations, but don't quote me on that. But also just the fact that it's there, like the entire time, like really makes you more cognizant of like how much time you have to queue stuff up. So I feel like it'll inadvertently just make you play more efficiently more times than not anyway. So there you go.
If it's true that the whole timer pauses during animations, hopefully we don't get a spaghetti code situation the way that Shadowverse Classic did, where a couple of interactions or combos got like banned or patched out. Because,
yeah, I mean, the good news is that the only animations that take like a significant amount of time are like evolving and super evolving. The actual card animations feel like they've all been sped up, honestly. Like they just like are very snappy. You play, it happens. You play, it happens. Like there's no like 10 million year long entrance animation. It's an animation, but it feels good. Yeah.
There's no like holy crystal loop or whatever it was where it just keeps playing out during opponent's turn until they time out or something like that.
Yeah, I don't believe so, but yeah, it's pretty funny if that is the case. But it all seemed pretty polished to me. So no, I don't think there's anything to worry about there specifically. All right. Yes. Is that it?
I'm really bad at thinking of questions on the spot.
No worries. I mean, I had the doc up for 2 days with this question in it. You guys just chose not to read it. I was
on a plane and then I was Star Wars. My head hurts. My computer exploded.
Your computer did explode. That is pretty funny.
Igni, do you have any like other various thoughts or criticisms of the demo so far?
There is the issue that after you spend all your SCP, the game does feel like it kind of like the momentum feels like it kind of slows down. Because like you do a big SEP turn, guard you evolve. They respond with like Twilight Dragon or like clearing it with Cerberus or with Mino, and then you're out of SEP and then you're like, well, I guess I play
Two Goblins Pass.
I play 2 Dragon Nanny, GG. So there is that idea, but I think in the full game there is going to be like more definitive win cons where you just like win the game on turn 9 or 10, like with the original Shadowverse anyway. So it's probably less of an issue.
I'm going to assume that once we can construct actual decks, that there's going to be options for late game after you've burned through your Evos.
Your
SCPs,
I would hope so. Yeah. I mean, that's the assumption, right? Like after your SCPs are done, then you hit them with your actual win con. Like after
Igni, we already have Kokada's Pass.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's kind of wild at this point they haven't revealed just the base sets yet. Like the base set. We've got obviously a lot of cards from the base set because of the demo, but I feel like by this point they should just release the whole thing for us to look at.
We're getting like actual regular updates now. Like they're actually doing. I think they're doing daily reveals now.
Those are old cards from.
Nope, some of them are new. They're trying new cards too. The Zeus card is new. I'm pretty sure. Divine Thunder, I'm pretty sure is brand new.
What is Zeus card? I think I got to open Twitter.
I mentioned it earlier, but it's a generic neutral spell. Divine Thunder, 4 cost,
Yeah,
destroy a
also-
random enemy follower with the highest attack, deal 1 damage AoE to all enemy followers.
Yeah, that's only in the Portal pre-build, which is funny.
Oh,
'cause
so
I
it
think
isn't pre-built. I'm a liar. So it is
Okay.
still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they haven't been posting anything to the Japanese or Chinese Twitter accounts, just the English ones. I'm pretty sure it's just a matter of
there
the
have been no
English
new
Twitter accounts
reveals.
behind.
Oh, so I'm just dumb. All
Yeah.
right. Well, what are they doing then?
Yeah.
the last new reveal was the Kakaidas one, I believe. No, the Sword and Haven ones. The Sword and Haven ones. Those were the last new reveals. Yeah. But all of the cards that they're revealing now are just from the pre-builds that were already revealed like months ago. So
What are they doing? We have like a month left.
It really is.
Listen. There are things I cannot talk about regarding my future plans this month / early next month. So I would like don't doom.
I'm not dooming. I'm not dooming. I know we're gonna get the cards. Obviously, it's just that like they it's kind of time to be really pushing the hype at this point.
Yeah.
When you played the demo, did you only have access to a mouse? Did you have a keyboard?
No, it was smartphones. It was smartphones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So no Steam overlay on that. I want to know if it actually really on God has Steam achievements or not.
No, dude, it was only on smartphone.
The Steam page says it has Steam achievements, which makes me think maybe it could also have a card set.
Would be nice.
Which would be amazing. I'd love that.
But yeah, it was only on smartphones at the demo, and I actually am working on a video of like my actual like footage of me playing the game. But the thing is that filming was actually restricted. And I was the only one who had special permission to film, along with Kel, because he was with me. Even IGN didn't get any footage, but I did.
Oh, nice. We got their priorities.
So, you managed to take home the Ask Ace kiosk. When are you gonna invite me over to your place so I can ask her questions?
I wish, bro. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I was able to film, but because it was with Cygames' blessing, the video is still in the approval process. They have to actually approve the video and make sure that nothing is nothing inappropriate is shown or whatever, because they're the ones who granted the permission. So I have to abide by their rules. So that's fine. They said they'd probably respond to me by next week-ish. So hopefully that'll be up soon. But regarding that, there are some odd editing choices I had to do because of the guidelines they set out. One of the things was that the phone screen could not be like a certain percentage amount of the full video screen, so I had to like zoom out some of my footage just to meet that requirement.
Interesting.
It was a bit odd. I think they just don't want people to like pixel analyze, like, oh my god, there's a freaking pixel here that is the color's wrong or whatever. It's probably one of those things, but it was a bit odd. But on YouTube mobile you can just zoom in on the video, so I think it's fine. But yeah, it was just some odd little considerations that they asked me to do. Yeah, but in general, it was a great time. A great game, feels amazing. The stages look way better than they do in Shadowverse 1. And they have like, animations on them still. Like when you do a big swing and like a big impact happens, I believe like some of the hanging lanterns on Galen's stage like did a little shake when that happened. So that was pretty cool.
I have new question. Are there little like interactable doodads on these new fields? Like
I did not click on them.
Oh, missed opportunity.
Sorry, I was too busy playing
part.
big guy and then swinging phase. It felt really good. It felt euphoric, man. Especially like also Olivia is a good card, but I think it's okay. I wouldn't say it's the best super evolve.
Real?
The best super evolve is by far Garyu in this demo. He's way better than the other two.
It's kind of funny how like we were like, Garyu's he's fine. He's not too crazy compared to the other superheroes. But obviously it's because you ramp into him is what makes him good.
You do ramp into him. Olivia's good, don't get me wrong, because you do just like heal 2, draw 2, recover 2, which is great for recovery. And you get the backswing of like being able to evolve something else or super evolve something else and make 2 trades. It's a good card. But Garyu is like busted in this demo, because even if you don't have SEP, you still summon the Supreme Golden Dragon and Supreme Silver Dragon. So you still get 3 huge bodies, a 5/5, a 4/5 with Ward, and a 5/4 with Rush. And then if you super evolve it, Garyu becomes an 8/8 that can trade and deal 1 ping to the enemy leader and doesn't take any damage. Then the Supreme Golden goes 4 face, and then the Supreme Silver trades for free because it gets barrier. Like, it's like easily the best Super Evolved card in the whole demo. And the fact that it's actually like still playable even after you run out of SEP is great, because a lot of the other cards are just like not good after you run out of SEP. If you run out of SEP and you play Orcus, all you get is a 2/6 a 1/6 Lloyd that has Storm and Bane. That's all you get. Sad. And when you don't super evolve Kerberos, all she does is summon a Mimi and a Coco and gives your field +2. And that's it. Like with Gardu, you get like 3 big bodies, not just 2 weenie bodies, right? So, but Olivia is still really good. The one interesting thing is that once a follower is evolved, it's not like tiers. You get the follower, and the follower can either evolve or super evolve. Like, you cannot super evolve a follower that's already evolved, is what I mean.
I think that checks out.
Honestly, that's kind of what I expected anyway.
And I tested this interaction. I played Olivia, and then I played Liu Fang. Liu Fang evolved herself, and then I tried to super evolve Liu Fang, and it didn't work. It just like didn't let me do it. So
yeah, because imagine like you play an ambush follower, evolve it, next turn super evolve it. That thing's gonna be too damn big.
Yeah. So you can't do that. If it's evolved, if evolution and super evolution is the final state of a follower status, like you can't go from one to the other.
I wonder if after these demos, what if they pre-nerf Dragon and then pre-buff Portal, please?
I think it's fine, because the Portal pre-build is just like, for some reason, it feels intentionally bad. There's like more generic neutral crap in the Portal pre-build compared to the other two. Like, Portal has a one of Seraphic Tidings, which is 3-cost draw 2. Meanwhile, Dragon has Golden Note Melody, which is 3-cost draw 2, but if you're in Overflow, heal 2, which is just better. So it's like, okay, that's odd.
I hope that's not an ominous sign that Portalcraft in this set is going to be split too much between like Artifact and Puppet gameplay, for example. But
I'm sure they're going to have more puppets in Artifact. Oh, sorry, in Portalcraft.
Sure, that'll be fine. Yeah.
It's just that the payoffs aren't that good because Liam is super expensive. And the only payoff is to play Orcus and Noah into Orcus, and you have to get that line specifically. And Liam is just like, it's too costly. Like you can never play Liam unless you're like a super control build. And the best control builds, the cards in the whole game right now from this demo are in Dragon, with Twilight Dragon and Calamity Breath, and even Strike of the Dragon, which is just Blazing Breath but better. So
I'm glad that they finally printed Liam's like big evil final boss ass form, but it's like, why is he so expensive? Why is he gotta be 10 though?
Dude, this guy is shit, dude. And all he does is summon 3 enhanced summons. You have to evolve him to get the burn effect.
Like, who the hell's gonna save evolve for turn 10? Like,
it's so bad.
Dude. Turn 9 if you're going second. Who asked? Like,
I will say, when I played against the practice deck, they did not play Mecha Cavalier. I think Mecha Cavalier is probably the best card in the entire deck.
Yeah, so far that's the best card so far.
You just play it on 5, evolve it, and then the other one survives, and you super evolve the other one, and you get like 10 bajillion men. But, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. All right. What else did I think about the demo? Let me think, hey? The line was pretty long throughout the entire day. Which is pretty good because
and you just skipped all of it.
Because the Gundam booth and the Godzilla booth were way emptier than the Worlds Beyond booth, which gave me some Schadenfreude. I'm not gonna lie. And then,
hey, how's the Gundam? Tell me about the Gundam. No, I'm kidding.
No, I didn't go to the Gundam booth. I was actually baffled that a Gundam booth was there, given that the card game festival was run by Bushiroad. But you know.
Yeah, Card Game Fest has, from what I understand, it's welcome to all the different companies, which is cute, but
I have no idea people are there between Bushi and Gundam.
Gundam's run by Bandai, which is a different company, so it's just odd that it was there, I guess. But I guess anybody can just buy an exhibitor pass. So
I think my thoughts on Worlds Beyond is we shouldn't judge the power level of crafts based on these demo decks, and we should wait till we see the base sets.
I agree.
Get into the whole theory crafting with the base sets available. But also keep in mind, the base set meta is it gonna be 4 weeks or 6 weeks before the first expansion. Like we're not going to get to experience much vanilla before the first expansion and then the second. And how many are we getting in the first?
We're getting
year of the
5
game? Like,
in the first 5 months.
Yeah, that's gonna be wild. And
but
they're gonna
every release you get 10 packs and they give a free pack every day and there's missions. So I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's gonna be an absolute fever dream playing through the game in its first year and having this absolute bombardment of content.
I wonder why. Is it because the game was delayed and they just had all the cards designed already?
Yeah,
and
I'm thinking that they were prepared
to me, though,
for,
like that's what they claim. That's like, oh yeah, we're extending the schedule because we delayed the game to like catch it up. But it's like, on what basis do you even need to extend the game to catch up with what?
I think they might have just had a roadmap ready and maybe had a separate team working on getting expansions out and ready, and already set up a assembly line of expansions going forward for many years, and a different part of Worlds Beyond ended up getting delayed, so they have to catch up. It reminds me of the Pokemon problem, where the games can't get delayed to become better games because the rest of the assembly line is moving too quickly.
Interesting.
You know what? I guess it's because they have like some specific expansions or whatever to coincide with specific dates, or maybe collabs actually. Maybe they have collabs planned for certain dates, and they the collab cards have to come out at that time of the when the collab happens at a specific date, so they had to catch up the other expansions to keep up with that schedule, I guess, maybe. And by collabs, I mean Zombieland Saga collab, surely!
I don't know about that. but we'll see. If anything, they're going to call out with Uma Musume, dude. Because of the global launches at the same time.
If they don't do some kind of Uma tie-in with the Uma's release, since they both come out around the same time, what's even the point? Like, it's like the easiest marketing strat ever, dude.
Yeah, that would be a big fumble if they didn't do that.
I do love the idea of tie-in expansions, but I think it can be a bit problematic if the game has too many of them.
Another thing that I have a question about that I am not sure how it's going to be in the final product. These pre-builds are pretty generous with their golds and their legendaries. Are pre-builds actually added to your collection? Or are they only available as pre-builds and you can't actually use them in custom decks? That's my question. Because like if they just give away freaking 9 copies of Olivia, like, is that not an economic problem or how are they dealing with this?
I feel like they established that you pick a pre-build at the start of the game. And
maybe, and then there's missions where you unlock pre-builds. That's also what they said. So,
do you get like copies of Olivia with every pre-build unlocked, so you just get all the extra vials? I kind of doubt that.
That's what I'm asking. Like, do you get the cards in the pre-build, or are they only available as like a thing you can play as one thing?
Well,
and then you have to, if you want to build them in your own deck, you have to acquire them like elsewhere.
I don't think any other card game would let you buy a pre-build and then not put those cards from the pre-build into other decks.
It's I mean, if that's the case, then that's fantastic because it's very generous. You get 3 Filled Outs, which is a gold, 3 Liu Fangs, which is a gold, 3 Genesis Dragon Reborn, which is a gold, 3 gold Twilight Dragons, 3 legendary Gardeus, 3 Olivias. In Abysscraft, you get Filled Out, Ceres is a gold, Mukan is a gold, and then you get Kerberos and Olivia. And then in Portal, you get Filled Out, Divine Thunder, Liam, Olivia, and Orcus. So like they're pretty generous with the gold and legendaries in the pre-build.
I just pulled up the original pre-built decks from Shadowverse. The Dark Worm Driver deck, for instance. A foil legendary, a normal legendary, and 5 golds. And that was one of the most valuable decks ever released.
Yeah.
As far as pre-builds go.
Meanwhile, both the Abyss and Dragon decks have 4 playsets of golds and 2 playsets of legendaries. And the Portalcraft one is the worst one, where you get 2 playsets of legendaries and only 3 playsets of gold. So even value-wise, Portal is the worst one.
Oh, brutal. Brutalized.
Why? Because Abyss also gets Orthros, which I forgot to mention, which is also a gold. So yeah, so only Portal has left with 3 golds only. Why'd they do this?
What did I mean by this?
That's so odd. Even in terms of value, Portal is cooked.
Yeah, I don't think Cygames are actually all that good at making pre-built decks. They didn't really do a good job with Shadowverse 1's pre-built decks. They got worse over time.
Well, I mean, the pre-builds are not. They're just a starting point for new players. You're not meant to like be able to drag them into like A rank or higher and just expect to win, right? That's the entire idea.
Yeah. I mean, go back to vanilla and drag. Well, the expansion. Actually, yeah, no. Darkness Evolved. You could probably take Dark Worm Driver into ranked and get to A rank with it.
Well, I will say
the game was in a different state back then.
I will say there's probably no shot the Portal and Abyss decks are going to look anything like this when they go into that, if you're trying to actually build a constructed deck. But the Dragon deck, you just swap out a couple of the shit cards with better cards, and it's probably fine. Like
that's the same case for Shadowverse Evolves Dragon pre-builds, right?
You swap out Calamity Breath, I guess, because it's a 6-cost deal 5 to all, which is only okay. Swap out Fledgling Dragon Slayer, because it's a 4-cost 2/2 that removes a follower, but it's pretty expensive. Dragon Nanny kind of sucks. Searing Fire Newt is not great, but it's okay against Sword. And then you just swap out like those 3 or 4 and then put in better cards, and then the rest is fine. Like you just stick with it because Gari was really good, Genesis Dragon's really good, Twilight Dragon's really good. Maybe you drop Genesis Dragon to 1 or 2 instead of 3, but other than that, anyway. That's the Worlds Beyond demo. Good game. Excited to play it. I wish they had more stuff available for testing in the demo, but straight up, most of it was just like not like accessible. Like the park wasn't there. Even in practice mode, the AI assistant wasn't there. So it was literally just private match and practice match. But yeah, we'll see. Overall, though, the game feels really good to play. Feels incredibly smooth. Yeah, we'll just have to see what the rest of the first set looks like. But yeah, I think it's all good things other than like some concerns regarding first versus second balancing. And yeah. All right, is that it for your questions? Do you have anything else before we move on?
Let's move on to the question
nothing
of
else
the
comes
week.
to mind. Although Igni, I just pause. I really gotta go to the bathroom. Like I
oh my lord! Okay,
I literally actually cannot hold it. So BRB.
I'll stop the recording and we'll come back. I'm not cutting this part out though. I'm not cutting this part out. I refuse.
You should.
You know what? I'm not even going to stop the recording. I'm just going to talk with Caleb until Tonko comes back.
I think you can get Tonko done pretty quick. He's been practicing all his life.
You know what? We're going to leave this entire thing in. You know what? I'll timestamp it. I'm going to timestamp this section.
Oh my god.
This is a
timestamp the Pitanko. No,
I'm going to timestamp this. I'm timestamping the Pitanko at 1:09. Tonko goes to piss. I forgot to timestamp the actual main topic, but I'll do that later.
RIP. I mean, we talked for a good 35 minutes about it.
All right. I'll assume that that's correct, and I'll just put that around like 30.
Yeah.
30, 40 or something. All right.
Real.
Good stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to do timestamps now. So if you guys, because I got somebody complaining that there were no timestamps earlier, and I'm like, it's annoying to have to re-listen to the entire episode and do timestamps. So if I timestamp while recording, less annoying. I just have to scrub near where I wrote down, and then it's easy. So
you
that's what
guys, the viewers, have really been coming out for these most recent few episodes of Evolve Point as well. I think both the last two got over 4,000 views on YouTube, which is pretty good.
Yeah, man. Good. Thank you guys, and appreciate everyone listening on Spotify and all the other podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, etc. for also showing up. I wish I could get your comments because I think Spotify actually does have comments now, but I do not know how to access it.
I tried commenting on a Spotify podcast, one of the Evolve Points, and I feel like it just didn't actually go through. I don't think they really have the infrastructure for that.
Should I try accessing the podcast? Welcome to SuchPeetanko segment where I try to see if I can access the comments on the Spotify feed. Oh god, they sent me a verification code. It's a nightmare. Pack it up, dude. Pack it up. Hold up.
I think on another note, we're probably going to try to go closer to becoming a weekly show again.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Since there's actually stuff to talk about. Especially like leading up to the thing as well as wait, I do have comments. Oh my god!
You found them.
All right. Thank you to the Spotify commenters. If you're not listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever, do so. Rate it 5 stars or whatever. It takes 2 seconds. Let me go ahead and read some comments. Rachel Young says, Thanks, guys, for making this podcast. I've been following since you rebooted Shadowverse. We rebooted Shadowverse Worlds. Well, I don't understand that. Did we do that?
We did that. Well, I think they mean like Evolve Point.
Yeah, it's truly the only thing keeping me in the loop. Y'all are doing God's work. Thank you. All right, well, back. Tonko, I decided not to even pause the recording.
Hell yeah.
And I also even timestamped your piss. So
Nice.
It's world famous Peetanko.
So like, I keep forgetting, but Spotify has a comment system.
yeah,
that's what we're looking at.
I looked at it. It was pretty cool.
Thank you.
I wonder if you can find my
Spotify
comment from, like, a
community
year
mentioned.
ago.
I don't know if I can access the Apple Podcast comment section though, because Apple it requires you to sign into your device, and I didn't bring it to Singapore where I am right now. So. All right.
Brilliant.
Next up, question of the month. 2 months, I guess, because it was the last episode is 2 months ago.
Question of the whenever.
Yeah. What other questions do you want addressed about Worlds Beyond? That's what some of these people asked, and I'll see if I can answer them. A waifuless weeb says, I would like to know what they're going to do with temp cards, if we're still going to be getting gems to work towards legendaries, or if decks are going to be a constant with every expansion. None of the economy stuff was in the demo, but temp cards are such a clunky, tacked on system.
Completely agree.
That I do not believe that they would bring it back. Like, there's no way.
Over the years, I saved hundreds of thousands. I've got 1 million temp gems. I've got 1 million temp gems right now. Imagine if those were just vials. Like, they could just be vials.
Yeah,
it would be maybe like half. Maybe you get 200 vials a day instead of 400. But like, temp gems just don't need to exist. They're completely auxiliary.
Okay system to save some vials, but like at this point we have daily packs now, so I
and it's also so unintuitive. Like, the number one question in the entire damn community is what the hell are temporary cards and how long do they last? Because they're called temporary cards, but they're not temporary. So it's like, what is happening? No idea. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah,
I've got 7 Gabriels and then 3 temporary Gabriel. I don't know when I got those. Are they ever gonna go away?
Who knows? Like, I hope they don't bring it back. I hope they just give rupees or vials, like Kalen said. It's such a stupid system. All right. Next up, JA993 asks, is the game going to be new player friendly, or the cards will still be like reading a book? Now, this is an interesting feedback, because I did not even consider card text length to be that off-putting to new players. But I guess if you're used to like Hearthstone, where every effect is just one sentence, that it is a little jarring. Like, especially since I started playing Cardfight Vanguard and every effect is like 10 paragraphs long.
Dude,
I feel like
I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, man. Like, paragraphs is what we do.
But I guess that is an actual concern, that the card text is too unclear. I will say in this demo, nothing was that long. Everything was pretty concise, even the big legendary win cons. I think
my observation from every card revealed so far.
Every card has been pretty concise. So I think that might actually be a consideration that they took into account, because everything so far has been very straightforward. So we'll see.
I've seen cards in Shadowverse that go on for multiple paragraphs.
I've seen several people in my chat, like returning or new players, be like, I don't really like the newer, like more modern Shadowverse cards because there's so much text. It's like playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm like, it never really felt that complicated to me playing these cards, but also I've been playing this game the entire time, so it's
exactly like for me, I feel like maybe it was just like I got used to it, but I guess it is a little jarring to like read, Forte from the first set and then read Ultimate Bahamut, and you're like, what the frick?
I still don't think Shadowverse ever really reached actual literal Yu-Gi-Oh levels of card text, but sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, so regarding the question, I think so far all the reveals have been very brisk, so maybe.
I gotta say, you might be wrong on that, Petty. Do you remember how original Yartalant read?
Oh yeah,
that's exactly.
That was Yu-Gi-Oh.
That actually is like a little Yu-Gi-Oh thing. Like, if you play the card, it's pretty straightforward.
So much text from him and fix it.
Like, reading the card feels like reading a Genshin tutorial, where it's just like a billion words explain the most basic concept of like, oh, you just do a bunch of stuff if you have a bunch of ammo.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
they
say
eventually cut it down to just it does this X times, this X times, and this X times.
Yeah, I guess it is interesting that it's not just, JA993 here, but it seems like a lot of people have the same feedback where card text that's too long is just exhausting unless you like are deep in the weeds of the game and play it every day, right? So,
but on that note, we do know we're getting some new keywords like barrier.
Yeah, barrier definitely reduces the amount of card text, and so does intimidate and aura and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yep.
All right, next question from Fire Rhino says, I would like to ask if we'll have Guild Wars. I think that would be fun. Calling Guild Wars fun is crazy considering how they work in Grand Blue Fantasy, where it's like literally a full-time job for weeks at a time, where you can't you can't eat, sleep, or drink, and you just have to grind on Guild Wars. But
also, calling them Guild Wars is funny because that's the arc in the Shadowverse story.
Oh, and calling them Guild Wars is funny because that's my favorite MMO. You can try it for free over on guildwars2.com. It's the only MMO I play.
Dude, I forgot. Are we even getting guilds back? I forget already.
Yes, we are getting guilds back, and in not even that, but they said that there's going to be guild halls, like where you can hang out with guild members. So
I'm gonna make a guild, and we're all gonna walk around in leather jackets with snakes on the back, and we're gonna call ourselves
Tunnel Snakes.
The Tunnel Snakes. I'm gonna beat up children playing Shadowverse for the first time.
We're the Tunnel Snakes.
Can you
That's
imagine
us.
that? Guilds of people walking in synchronicity in the park, just surrounding people and demanding to duel them.
Not even Guild War, dude. That's not even Guild War. That's gang wars at that point.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Shadowverse Park becomes a contested area.
Hell yeah, man.
Well, I mean, considering that they are adding guild halls and stuff, it would be cool to see more guild features, I guess. So, I hope so.
I'm gonna have a guild of just exclusively all my Shadowverse Worlds Beyond GFs.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah!
This guy hogs them all. He gets all of the Worlds Beyond GFs and takes them from everyone else.
Do you know that meme where it's like the guy flexing and he's like, "No, I'm an alpha, and then it's like a twink surrounded by 10 women. That's Tonko, dude.
The femboy gets the tom girl. Wait, tomboy. That's the one.
I don't know if we'll have guild wars, but I think it would be cool to have guild missions. This is all purely speculation. The guilds were not in the demo, so just keep that in mind. But I think it would be cool if you had a guild and it would be like, guild mission, play 100 followers with fanfare this week, and then everybody in the guild can contribute to that mission. You know what I mean? I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that would get done in 10 minutes with a guild.
Just an example, or maybe give it different tiers, right? Like depending on how many members are in your guild, the missions change.
Definitely moving in the right direction with that kind of thing, and especially, I actually really do like the idea of your guilds could compete in competitions against other guilds for clothing pieces, customization.
Or what if it's not like a direct head-to-head thing, but if it's like the guild that does the most of this will get an exclusive cosmetic or something like that. You know what I mean? Or like the top 10 guilds in terms of master points will get something, you know?
I wish we got guild fishing competitions.
Yeah, fishing's taken out, dog. I'm sorry,
we had
dude.
Guild Mahjong tournaments.
Guild versus guild soccer games will be
We can't do guild mahjong or guild fishing, but Kalen's right, we can do guild soccer. So I'll see you on the green, motherfucker. I'm gonna take you out. All right. I guess that's it for the show. Next month's question, I guess maybe even next week's question, depending on what happens. What could Worlds Beyond do to attract more players? Like I asked this question on the YouTube community as well as Twitter recently. We got a lot of interesting feedback, and I wanna hear directly from you this time. Comment below, and I'll showcase some of the answers, and we'll discuss how Worlds Beyond can reach a wider appeal. But other than that, that's it for the episode. You guys have any final thoughts?
As for that question, I'd just go with what got me into Shadowverse, and that's sponsoring YouTubers that people like to watch card games from. And
heck yeah, dude.
Especially, I think the VTuber market is untapped for this game. There was a time when Cygames was sponsoring a lot of VTubers to play Shadowverse, and I think that actually did work out quite well. I may have had access to some behind-the-scenes numbers on how much benefit that had, and I think it was working pretty well. I think that's something they should definitely do in Worlds Beyond.
Would be great. Also,
they got Niji Sanji EN that last time. That's why it didn't look so well.
I think it would be fantastic if, like Evolve, they take a page out of that book and not just sponsor the VTubers to play it, but maybe have like a sleeve or an emblem of that VTuber in game.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been. It's a bit damn late now, but I was saying for years that my dream collab was Gargora as a dragon leader.
GG, bro.
Yeah, it's so over, man. I almost crashed out.
But what about Gargora's biggest fan, Senzawa? Do you think we can get her as a dragon leader?
I think that's a
If she
lot less
streams.
likely.
All right. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on that. We'll talk about it more next episode. But for now, thank you for listening. Make sure to follow us and rate us on all the platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. Especially as we go into Worlds Beyond, we'll be covering the news even more regularly. You can follow SuchPeetanko at twitch.tv or YouTube at SuchPeetanko. You can follow Lord Kalen at Kalen_Swan. Is that right?
Yep.
On Twitter.
You will find my summon sign in the waiting room for Elden Ring Night Rain.
Hell yeah. We're playing that, right? In 15 days.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
Point, boys.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Have a special Evolve Point episode for Night Rain.
And I guess look forward to when that video of me playing the demo finally goes up. Still awaiting approvals, but hopefully soon. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Bye-bye.